Are you considering moving to the Provo Orem, Utah area? There are many reasons why you might choose this area. Maybe you just received a new job offer. Maybe it's always been your dream to live in Utah. Maybe you just retired and you want to call Utah home. Well, you're searching the internet trying to find out what it's like to live in the Provo Orem, Utah area. Well, on this video, I've made a list and I'll be sharing with you my pros and cons of living in the Provo Orem, Utah area. I'm going to be open and transparent, tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yes, we will be talking about the weather and the air quality. And we're getting after it right now. And I'm Mike Gallagher, and if you want to learn everything about living in Utah, you've come to the right channel. I produce a weekly video about living in Utah. I also hold a weekly live question and answer session. If you would like to be notified about these events, you may consider tapping that subscribe button down below and hitting that bell notification so you will be alerted every time one of those events occur. And honestly, we're receiving so many phone calls and emails from all over the world, and we absolutely love it. So if you are considering buying or selling real estate in Utah, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. We got your back with Utah Real Estate. So the pros and cons of Provo Orem, Utah. I have 5 pros for you, but I also have 5 cons. And I've also got one that goes right down the middle. It can be a pro and it can be a con. Pro number 1 has to be jobs. Matter of fact, the whole state of Utah has seen significant job growth. This particular area of Utah is called Silicon Slopes. It's an area that stretches from South Salt Lake down to Provo, Utah. It's a cluster of information technology companies, software development companies, and hardware manufacturing. I have a list of some of the top companies calling Utah home. Now, it's a large list. I had to write it all down. Impossible to remember every single company. 1-800 contacts, Adobe, Ancestry.com, AuthorizeNet, Backcountry, Cisco, doTERRA, Bluehost, Control4, Dev Mountain, DigiCert, Discover Card, Domo, eBay, Engineering Animation, Facebook, Harry Sheen, which is formerly Dentrix, Landesk, LexisNexis, Lingotech, Micron, Microsoft, Microfocus, Moki Mobility, Nature's Sunshine, Norton LifeLock, Nice In Contact, Northrop Grumman, New Skin, Oracle, Overstock, Pattern, Pluralsight, Podium, Proofpoint, Purple, Qualtrics, SanDisk, StubHub, Seuss, Usana, Vivint, Weave, Workday, Workfront, Exactware, and Zion's Bank. Now, I know I'm leaving off a few companies, but many companies are now calling Utah home. Con number 1 has to be traffic. It's the number 1 complaint that I hear about in Utah County. With this increased job growth and population growth has brought more cars to our roads, which increases the traffic. The commute from Salt Lake City to Provo in both directions can be slow and go, especially during the morning commute and the evening commute. And if there's an accident, it backs up even further. They have to reduce it down to 1, 2, or 3 lanes so that you can get the emergency vehicles in, the police vehicles in, and clean up the accident. Now, when it snows, plan on adding more time to your journey. You will usually find somebody who slides off the road and hits the barricade. Once again, they have to reduce the lanes and bring in the emergency vehicles. It's not all doom and gloom, though. It is getting better. I-15, which is the major interstate that goes through Utah County, has been improved over the last few years. They have added more lanes to the freeway, and they have improved the on-ramps and off-ramps to allow access to be a little easier. I've noticed during COVID that there are less cars on the road, mostly due to companies that have allowed some of its workers to work remotely, work from home. There are some more road projects projected for Utah County in the future, but for now, we do have some alternatives. There is a great mass transit system. There's a train that runs from Provo all the way to Salt Lake City and to areas further north. You'll also notice some of these UTA rideshare vans floating around town. Companies who participate in the program allow its employees to ride in the vans. They usually hold 10, 12, 14 riders at a time, and you get to share a ride back and forth to work. Let someone else do the driving. Pro number 2, Utah is an outdoor paradise. Even our license plates say, greatest snow on earth. People from all over the world come to Utah to enjoy the outdoor recreation. Whatever your interest is, I'm sure you will find it in the state of Utah. Some of the things that I really enjoy, first on the list would be hiking. We have over 3,000 active trails throughout the state. There are trails for beginners all the way up to advanced hikers. I'm sure you will find a trail just for your liking. Rock climbing, there are many areas to go. I personally do not rock climb. I kind of like to keep my feet on the ground, but I have many friends who rock climb in Utah and they say it is absolutely fantastic. Mountain biking, another activity I really enjoy. I love to throw the mountain bike in the back of the truck, head up to the mountains, and ride on a trail for an afternoon. Great day out. Fishing, all over the county, all over the state, there is numerous fishing locations. One of my favorite spots in Utah has to be the Provo River. It is peaceful, calm, and I have a great time every time I go. Camping, it's very, very popular in Utah. It's probably one of the top outdoor recreational activities in Utah. Whether you camp in a tent or a camper trailer or a motorhome, there are many locations in the county and in the state. One of my favorite places to go in the county is the Deer Creek State Park. It's just a short drive up the Provo Canyon, real easy to find. Hunting, people come from all over the country to Utah to hunt during the hunting season. Very, very popular. Maybe your activity is water sports. Go out there on a jet ski or a boat. There are plenty of locations in Utah for your enjoyment. Matter of fact, Utah Lake is right around the corner. UTV, ATV, dirt bike, I have owned all the above. I have ridden since I was a kid. In Utah, you can ride in the mountains on some beautiful trails, or you can head out to the desert and let it rip in the sand. Living in the Provo Orem area, you're only a short drive to the Little Sahara recreational area, probably the best sand dune area that we have in Utah. Maybe you'd like to take your UTV or your Jeep and do some rock climbing. Head a little further south down to Moab, Utah. People come from all over the country to ride on the rocks down in Moab. Snow sports, we have the greatest snow on earth. Whether you'd like to ski, snowboard, snowmobile, right here in Utah is the place. You're only a short drive to world-class ski resorts. Matter of fact, we held the Winter Olympics in 2002 right here in Salt Lake City, and you get the opportunity to ski on the exact same slopes that the Olympians did. Con number 2, air quality. In the Provo Orem area, you will find that there are certain days throughout the year, especially during the winter months, that the air quality standards are below what you would consider normal. We measure air quality in the state of Utah in 3 different categories: red air day, yellow air day, and a green air day, green being the best. They also throw in like an orange air day, etc., etc. But the major categories are green, yellow, and red. If you suffer from certain health issues on a red air day, they recommend that you stay inside. It can be a little tough on your lungs and other medical conditions. If you watch the local news stations or the local newspaper, during the weather department section, they usually will tell you what the air quality is for that particular day and for the future. Why is our air quality so poor? Well, the number one reason is due to inversions. In Provo Orem area, we are surrounded by the mountains to the east and to the west. It's beautiful. You wake up in the morning and you live right underneath the mountains. But those mountains act like a bowl. When the warm air comes through, it can trap the cold, polluted air beneath it. That warm air layer acts like a lid on a bowl. There is nowhere for the dirty air to escape to. We usually have to wait for a winter storm to come through or a big gust of wind to blow it out the valley. It's as simple as that. Now, the air quality in Utah is improving. Last year, the EPA produced a report that stated Utah was in compliance for the PM 2.5, which is the fine particulate matter that they find in the air. As a person myself who suffers from asthma, the red air days are hard on my lungs. I usually have to stay inside or head to the mountains to some cleaner air. But over the last few years, I've noticed that we seem to have fewer red air days. The state has been working on the air quality issue for about the last 25 to 30 years. They have implemented many programs, so maybe those programs are finally kicking in and cleaning up the air that we have in Utah. Pro number 3, low crime rate. Every time I turn on the national news, it seems as if crime is being committed all over the United States. Well, in the Provo Orem area, crime seems to be on a downward trend. Violent crime in Provo Orem area is 67% lower than the national violent crime rate. Violent crime is composed of 4 different categories: murder, forcible rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. Now, this data comes from an FBI report on offenses that have been reported to law enforcement. If you would like some more info on crime in the state of Utah, Utah has its own website. It's called bci.utah.gov. Once you arrive on the website, you choose crime statistics. Then you get to choose a particular year that you are interested in. It is approximately hundreds of pages worth of data. You can choose city data, county data. It gives you all the crime data that you would need to know. Con number 3, the weather. Everybody seems to talk about the weather no matter what state you're in. And the one time of year a lot of people talk about Utah is during the winter months. In the Provo Orem area, you will see snow and it does get cold. The coldest months are usually December, January, and February. I personally think it's a pro and not a con. I enjoy the 4 seasons and the low humidity. So if you're not a winter person, I have some great ideas for those winter days. You could cozy up to the fireplace with a cup of hot chocolate or a cup of hot cider. It's a great time for a movie marathon or maybe binge watch on Netflix. You could take an online class. Maybe you could finish that scrapbook. Something I really enjoy, to catch up with friends and family. You could revisit your hobbies. Maybe you're a musician. You could dust off that old guitar or that old drum set. Get back to making some music. Now, if you have some kids, I've got some recommendations there also. You can go sledding with your kids. You could build a snowman. You could build a bonfire and make s'mores. One thing that I really enjoy this time of year is I give back to society. Every year, I go toy shopping for all age groups, boy and girl, and I donate them to the local homeless shelter. Pro number 4, centrally located. So if you live in the Provo Orem area, you have quick access to many vacation spots in Utah and the surrounding states. In Utah, you're just a car ride away from 5 national parks. You have Zion National Park, Arches National Park, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, and Canyonlands. Every year, millions of visitors come from all over the world to visit those national parks. You're also not far away from another great recreational area called Lake Powell. You're also real close to the Grand Canyon, another one of America's greatest treasures. You could take a trip down to Las Vegas, see a show, see a NASCAR race. I believe NASCAR comes twice a year to Vegas. NFL game. The Raiders are now located in Las Vegas. You can catch an NFL game. And many more great entertainment options there in Las Vegas. You're also right around the corner to Park City and Deer Valley, Utah. Some world-class skiing, some amazing shopping, and some amazing dining. You will find award-winning chefs located in Park City, Utah. Another area that I really enjoy is the western part of Colorado. If you're an outdoor person, a camper, I love taking my trailer to the western part of Colorado. It's a very beautiful part of the country. Con number 4, altitude. So the Provo Orem area is located at about 4,500 feet. Altitude can affect people in different ways. Some people have no problems. Some people have some minor problems. The air that we breathe contains oxygen and nitrogen. So as you climb in altitude, there are fewer oxygen molecules. Also, your body loses more water as the altitude increases. So when changing altitude, say from sea level to a low altitude to a medium altitude, You need to let your body slowly acclimate. I've got a tip for you to help out. Stay hydrated, maintain a healthy diet, and don't overexert yourself. Pro number 5, family-centered community. The Provo Orem area is filled with fun things to do for the whole family. I've got a short little list of things that come to my mind. There's the Museum of Natural Curiosity. Go here and you will find over 400 interactive experiences. There's the Provo Rec Center. There is something to do for every member of the family. Like there's an indoor aquatic center, there's exercise classes, basketball courts, and much, much more. Take a trip up to the Heber Valley. There's the Heber Valley Railroad. You can go on a train excursion with the whole family. They run trains between Heber City and Vivian Park. There's the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium just north of Provo, Utah. This is home to over 4,500 animals. If you've got young kids, you could take a trip out to Coconut Grove. It's an indoor playground that is just west of Provo, Utah. There's Bridal Falls, one of my favorite places to go. You can take the whole family to the great outdoors and go on a short hike. It's about 1.25 miles long, but it ends with a beautiful waterfall. Take your camera, lots of picture opportunities. You can go to a business called Virtual Experience. You get the opportunity to experience the world of virtual reality at a very affordable price. Con number 5, lack of housing. With all the growth that has happened in the Provo Orem area, there is a lack of housing. Whether you're looking for an existing home, inventory levels are low, and most homes are receiving multiple offers. If you're looking at new construction, there are some builders that actually have a waiting list that you have to go on before they will even start construction on your home. The builders are just having a hard time keeping up with all the demand. It is slowly improving. I see a big push from the cities to the developers to the builders to push along some new construction a little bit quicker. Hopefully this will ease our lack of housing. Got one bonus one for you, and it goes right down the middle. It can be a pro and it can be a con. That would be Byu Athletics. Living in the Provo Orem area, you're in blue country. And that blue is not for the Democratic Party. That blue is for the BYU Cougars. To the north is the rivalry team, the University of Utah Utes, and they are red in color. The sports programs clash every single year. The local football game that is played is called the Holy War. If you try to buy tickets to that game, it's usually sold out. The two fans do not like each other at all. Big rivalries. In Utah, you're a blue fan or you are a red fan. There is some good news, though. The two current coaches for BYU and Utah in the football program are great friends. They have been friends for many years. They do a lot of charity work in the local community and raise money for many needy projects. In conclusion, that's my pros and cons of the Provo Orem, Utah area. If you have any kind of questions, by all means, reach out to me. I'm glad to help you in any way that I can. I do have some other videos on my channel for your enjoyment. Until the next video, take care and stay safe.